Okay, I wanted to show my flow for making something in Claude Code, and I just have a task right now I'm going to do that I feel like is a pretty good example. So let's get started. This is the prompt I made for it. I'm going to run it in plan mode, which means when I launch Claude, actually, I use dangerously skip permissions, which is like YOLO mode, where I just let it do absolutely whatever it wants. It's never really done anything that has caused any problems. Everything it does is fairly reasonable. It's not like it's going to delete files on my computer or something. But if you do Shift Tab, you can move it into plan mode where it's not allowed to run any commands. So I basically flip between these two modes. Plan mode, come up with exactly what it wants to do. If that looks good, I put it in YOLO mode and let it do whatever the hell it wants. I really don't think there's anything good about having it like in some middle mode where you have to approve everything it does, but it also doesn't give you a plan up front. So anyway, plan mode. Get out of this. Okay, so plan mode. I say create an API to support uploading a file via a pre-signed URL to S3. We already have something in S3 that I set up that's like a case ID path or prefix, or like it's not really a folder, but it's a prefix in S3. And I'm saying that the API should have the case ID as a URI parameter or path param, not a query param. We don't care if the case exists yet or not. We're just going to upsert, basically blindly create the object for that case ID, whether it exists or not. And this is the path that the attachment is supposed to have. So this is really for images, uploading images, but let's model this as attachments, and it'll support like audio files, maybe videos later. So let's let it go. In plan mode, it's going to think about it, maybe look at the code base. Oh, you know what? I should tell it S3 for context. I'll give it some context. It'll probably find this on its own anyway, but it just kind of wastes more time and tokens looking for it. Right now, also, there's something going on with the pipeline. I think it's because of some Terraform stuff we ran that broke the CDK roles, I think. So the pipeline will be failing right now, but still, that's not the point of this. Okay. And this right here is not real, but I like to keep it because if I didn't have a Claude Code subscription, like a monthly subscription for $20 a month, then I would be paying with, using pay as you go. I'd get an API key and pay per token, and this is how much the session so far has cost. This number really gets up there, which makes you really feel good about having that fixed cost $20 a month subscription. Yeah. You can see also, let's see if this will work while it's going. No, I guess you can't run this at the same time, but we can see how much it has in context right now and a breakdown of like whether that's attributed to messages from our conversation or things that's loaded into memory from context or from MCP servers. And as the context gets filled up, every exchange we have gets extremely more and more expensive. Okay, so here's what plan mode looks like. It's going to give me like a few questions like this that I tab through and make decisions, and I can always say override. I can always also press escape and just like basically say no, stop your entire plan. Like I need to give you more critical feedback. API structure, where this new endpoint be located. Cases router. Yeah. I need to change the existing API, so I'm just going to make a new cases router, and that will become the new API that we build on in the future. Who generates? Yeah, good question. Well, no, this doesn't make any sense because I said that you always have to pass a UUID in the request. So I don't even know why it's asking this, but This is it. Client provides. What should the expiration be? Oh, okay. Pretty quick. I mean, this is supposed to be used right away. Via S3 config. Yeah, sure, make it configurable. Why not? Doesn't hurt. No restrictions for now on file size or type. No, we should have restrictions. Add size limit only, both size and type. Yeah, let's do size and type. Like, I don't know. We can get rid of these later, but I want to see like what's possible. So that's a nice thing that this gives you too, is it gives you options you didn't even know you had. More questions. What should we allow? Yeah, allow all of these. GIFs, huh? I don't know what we're gonna do with that, but PDFs, yes. Text, yes. Office docs. I mean, no. Let's say no on that. Sure, nobody should be using that. That's pretty big. Let's do 10. Why not? That's pretty big, honestly. Yeah, 10 is big. I don't know why anyone would need that. Well, whatever. We'll probably have some utility maybe on the client side in the future to scale down images if they're too large before uploading, so that we don't just reject the user's uploads, which would be annoying for them, telling them like go use some utility to compress or scale down your image, rather do it for them. Okay, so this is the plan. I'm really not even going to read this plan. You pause the video if you're interested in it, but create cases. I know what it's going to do, and then some of the things that it does I might dislike, but I'd rather look at what it did afterwards and then change it afterwards rather than like conversing with it right now. But like this, for instance, I think I maybe don't want this. We'll see what exactly it means though once it implements it. Register router, yeah. Testing, yeah, sure. Write some tests. We've already got some test files that I think it's going to add more tests to. So great. So and this is where we choose YOLO mode or this, and just like always YOLO, always YOLO. We don't have time for approving things. Approving things, not improving. We have time to improve, not to approve. All right, to-do list. Yeah, so it has this whole like system it does in plan mode where it creates a set of to-dos. I think that helps it stay focused on the overall task maybe. It has these little tricks, these little LLM tricks it does to improve its performance that they've figured this out over time. First task is updating S3 config. So let's go look at what it's doing. Oh, there it is. So is this it? Yeah, cool. It added these. Nice. 15 minutes default. Nice. Let's see, what's it doing? S3 service. So that's right here. So it just made this stuff. Cool. So one thing I'm going to have it do is, I don't like dictionaries in Python for representing like statically typed data. So I'm going to tell it to change these things to, I guess, Pydantic models. That will also work better for the API. And also I have something, oops, here it is. Here, this is like my overall system personalization for Claude Code. So I can put something here where I'll just say prefer Pydantic models or data classes over dictionaries to represent static, let's see, like static types, meaning dictionaries use write classes. To model data if you know the structure at, I mean, not compile time, but if you know the structure up front. Yeah. So what's interesting is it will actually pick this change up midway. At a certain point when it stops, it'll say, hey, I see you updated your personalization instructions. Do you want me to go make this change? So, yeah. Yeah, so it ran this command earlier to make a directory, writing to a file, making an update to a file, reading a file. That's just for context. It's reading some pre-existing files. Cool. So it's adding unit tests now. I'll go set up the browser to check out the S3 bucket that it's gonna write to, so we can like see the effects when we use it. Here we are. Yeah. Nothing there right now. Okay, so this is a unit test. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm more interested in the integration test. But first, let's go look at the router that I think it created. Cases, cool. So it made this, okay, upload request, attachment ID, content type. The reason there's no case ID is because that's supposed to be a URI parameter, URL param. And the response will have the pre-signed URL. I don't know why we're even including the S3 key in the response. The client shouldn't need to know that, I think. I don't think they need to know that. I'll ask about that. And then the router, yeah, 1 through 255. I don't know how long a UUID can be, but I don't think it can be that long. So we'll ask about that too. I don't know why this is a accept value error and why it's happening out here, but this is way too high level, like too far outside of where the error happens to be catching it and assuming that any value error you get is from what you think it is. Like, there's a lot of things probably that happen in here, and maybe one of these throws a value error, and so up here we're thinking, oh, if the value error occurs, it came from that place. But no, we should catch it. We should probably catch it deeper, like right where it happens, so that we know that's really what that exception came from. Perfect. All type errors are fixed. Okay, great. Thank you. But see what it did, actually, it ran pyrite. So I didn't tell it to do this, but it figured out that I have pyrite, which is a type checker, like a, yeah, kind of like a equivalent of a compiler check. It ran the single test, that one unit test, okay? Test passes. Then it started running pyrite and getting type check errors. This is what I really love about Claude, actually, is that Claude Code is that it's not just writing the code, it's agentic, and like we just saw that whole story about those Chinese state actors hacking. They wouldn't say who they were hacking, all these probably several different companies, but they're using Claude Code to do it. And this is why, is because it's able to kind of like fully do this adaptive cycle where it runs a command, gets an error, sees, oh, there's these errors, let me investigate these and fix them. Then it makes changes. It's fixing these type issues. Then it runs pyrite again and it says, okay, it's all fixed. But it can do this loop, which is exactly what a human would do. We don't know what we're going to write the first time. We don't know like that it's going to be correct. Nobody gets it right on the first time. Everyone is always failing, doing trial and error, hitting errors and then debugging that until you get past all the errors. So what's funny is people say, oh, I used some AI coding agent and everything it wrote was garbage. Well, I mean, isn't everything you write garbage too? It's just that then you fix it. Like, have you ever written a bunch of code and it just like runs to perfection on the first time? No. But this is able to see those errors, adapt, fix it, and do that loop until everything's fixed. So now here it actually started the server. It started the server itself. It sleeps for 3 seconds, waiting until the server's running. So it's giving it some time to come up. It made a curl request to the endpoint and it got an error. Okay, so it tried something else, made another curl request. We'll watch for changes. Perfect. The implementation is complete. So I could press Command O and see exactly what happened, but it's too much stuff. But I'm just going to trust. Here's the server logs. I'm going to close this, but it actually spun up the server, used the new API endpoint it made until it was happy with it. I'm not 100% sure that it's all working, but let me say, give me a command to run to test. Well, I guess it's actually the curl call up above this one. Let me just try this command myself. Oh, do I need to give me, okay, to test the endpoint. I'll just ask it to give me that. It made an integration test, but I'm too lazy right now to go figure that out. So I'm going to start the server. All right. I should run this. Cool. Nice. JQ at the end. And actually, let me see if anything is in here. No, there's nothing here. Did it? Okay. Oh, it didn't actually use the upload URL. It just it just got an upload URL. Okay, let's try it. Let's see. Oh, no. Let's see what happens. Of course, it didn't work. Let's try this. This is not how I usually do things. I should have copy pasted this into a file at least. Let's try this. Dang it. Okay, internal server error. Okay. So SO session. Okay, so I know what's going on. I'm surprised it said that everything was fine. I'm not that surprised actually, but it shouldn't have said that. What I should have it do really is use an integration test, but first I'm going to do savvy login. Let's do, well, what SSO profile is it even using? It's using test power. Okay. Savvy login AWS test power. Oh, I forgot to mention that tool has fuzzy matching. Okay. Now it should have, let me restart the server. It should have credentials now to use. I'll try this again. There we go. Oh, it worked. Nice. So upload URL, this doesn't make any sense. This is not a valid upload URL. Unless I'm supposed to somehow use all of these, and this is what makes, I'm supposed to upload with these fields. Okay, I'm just gonna tell it to do this for me so I can figure out how to use this URL. I'll say this is the response. What? Where's? Give me a command to upload a file. Let me actually say let's see, what's a file. I'll take a screenshot right now actually. Here. Wait, are these my screen? No, here's my screenshots. Here we go. This, and I'll name it something without spaces. Let's say ABC. Yeah, cool. To upload this file. I pasted the actual image. Dang. I think I wanted this. Yeah. No. Private ABC .png. Yeah. The @ sign is like a Claude shortcut to point at a file. It's kind of taking a long time. I wonder if it actually tried to read the PNG file. I'm going to stop it. Okay, I'm going to say to upload a file path. There, make an environment variable. And I'll say write a script. Write a bash script to upload a file, this. Okay. It's kind of a long script. What the heck? Okay. Sure, that's fine. Okay, write the script to the root of this repo. Okay, we can, yeah, do it, sure. Maybe I should have to write the script in Python. This is kind of crazy. It's just like not something that you should do in Bash. You should do it in Python. It's kind of starting to take a long time, and I'm worried maybe its context is too full. Okay, all right. Let me look at the context. 69%. I mean, yeah, that's not nothing. So I'm gonna run compact, which compacts the context. I'm sure it's using an LLM to summarize everything we've done. Meanwhile, let's run this script. Just in case. And then example this. And I'll do private ABC. Yeah. Well, what was the, so then you're saying test case, the case ID. Where's the case ID? Cases. Yeah, it's test case 123 photo 001. Okay. And this, yeah, let's do that. Let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't need any quotes with this. Maybe here. I don't know. Bad substitution. Why? So I'll say, once it's done compacting, I'll tell it, rewrite that script in Python and try to keep it simple. Meanwhile, I'll try to debug this script. Sorry, bad substitution on line 30. Yeah, this is the problem. Like Bash, does anyone really understand Bash? Like, what is ext, comma, comma? It means something. Like, but like, what is this? This shouldn't be a programming language. There's so many different ways to do stuff that you'd have to be such a neckbeard to actually know what any of this means. Nothing against neckbeards. Like I've got a little bit going myself, but yes, sure, go ahead. Just make my life easier. Okay, I've created upload attachment. Thank you for doing that. Okay, let me try this, I guess. Wait, but where do I put? Okay, whatever. No, this can't work because there's no. Oh, maybe it actually makes a call to get the URL, then uses it to upload. Yeah, that's what it's doing. API endpoint this. It's doing that first. Posting. All right. Yeah, it's got that. Okay, let's try it. It's using requests. Probably need to pip install requests or something. Let me activate the virtual environment and run Python. This with, it was saying to run it with these. I mean, sure, that should be the default anyway. That last parameter, I mean. Yeah, forbidden for URL. Okay, so I'm gonna have it now. I'm gonna have it debug this, and yeah. So I'll say now you run that command and figure out what's wrong and fix it. I'm gonna put it in plan mode because I don't want it to start making a bunch of changes until it like actually thinks through its situation. I'm also gonna stage these changes so that I can see the diff it comes up with once it starts making changes. I'm also gonna close this door because my wife uses a goddamn mechanical keyboard and it's all I can hear. Okay. Test and debug. Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. I thought it was actually gonna run it, then come up with the plan to what to change, but instead that is its plan. So let's see what happens. No module. Yeah, but wait. So I'll tell you, activate the venv or use its Python binary. This is a common issue I've seen with coding agents. I thought Claude was better than this. It probably is better than this and would have figured it out. But like, I think it was Windsurf was doing this, where every time I try to run a Python command, it would be like, oh, it's failing. It doesn't work. And it would keep trying it, but it's not, doesn't have the virtual environment active. And it feels like it should have been like the first thing it should try is looking for virtual env. Yeah. I'm sure Claude would have figured it out. Yeah, I mean, it says compared to the working integration test, I didn't see it run the integration test when it was writing it earlier. I only saw it run the unit test. So we'll see. I'm actually going to run the integration test. Let's do that. So the integration test, but only the attachment upload. Let's try this one. See what happens. I bet this fails. Like I'm just suspicious that this actually works. Okay, but did it actually? And it even heads the object to check that the object really exists in S3. Yeah, it gets the attachment upload URL. Then it posts to that URL. Yeah. Okay, but why? It doesn't, from what I can see, it doesn't seem to clean it up unless there's something else in the test. But there's nothing here. So where's it going? I mean, I know it's using the test account. Maybe there is something in here that cleans up. Clean up case data. Here's why. Every test has a cleanup step. So let me actually disable. Yeah. Let me go. Well, generate cleanup. I'm going to. Well, no, I won't do it that way. I'll disable the cleanup step. Yield objects to delete. I'll just like make this empty instead. There. It won't do anything. Now let me try running this again. I bet it's like already solved the problem. Oh no, it hasn't. All right, cool. You're still failing. Wait, the bucket doesn't exist. Wait. No, don't create a bucket. See, this is the problem with YOLO mode. Is that what the hell? Did it move the bucket like it renamed the bucket? This is not a good Claude Code advertisement anymore, or at least for YOLO mode. Maybe it's not a good YOLO mode. Let's see if it actually just renamed the bucket. Oh, MB is make bucket, not move bucket. Okay, still, that was stupid, but it tells us that the problem was that the bucket name is, it's using somewhere dev instead of test. So let me tell it, no, you idiot. The problem is that the bucket name is correctly this, but somewhere in our code, we're using dev instead. Somewhere we need to fix some configuration so that dev. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe we should have a dev bucket. A separate dev bucket. But whatever. For now, I'm just going to tell it so that dev maps to the test bucket. I'll tell it this. Put it back in plan mode because I don't trust it anymore. No, I just wanted to come up with a plan. I'm going to delete the bucket it created. Or maybe it'll delete it. We'll see. But what I'm going to do is, since I disabled that, I'm going to rerun this integration test without the cleanup enabled. And hopefully it's here now. Yay, it's here. So it does work. Attachments. I don't even know what file it actually uploads, but yeah, you can't view a file like that, I guess. Let me download it. Let's take a look. Okay, it's probably some like not real file. It's like a 1 byte file or okay. It's not a real picture probably. We'll go take a look at what it actually uploads. But but the flow works. As far as an integration test goes, this is what we need. So let me delete this. I guess I'll just go here and delete this. Why can't I delete this? What? What? That's weird. Delete. I hate that they make you do this. You have to type delete. Okay, let's see what Claude's doing. You're absolutely right. I should have got that. Yeah, it's gonna delete the bucket. Cool. Sure, go for it. Okay, so now, I mean, the last step is we go understand the code. Like, now it's more like I'm reviewing code that just pretend another person wrote this code. And you're reviewing it and you trust it to like some extent based on it working and based on past experience of using this. But so now generate attachment upload URL. I'm going to basically read through this, get a case prefix, create an expiration time, conditions, and then, okay, cool. So like this is really what does it. Generate pre-signed post. This is a Bodo3 method. Bodo3 being the AWS SDK. Cool, so it creates a pre-signed post and returns that. And then how we use it, well, let's see if, I mean, the way we use it, we can look at the script or the integration test. I'll just look at the integration test for now. Not this one. It's here, and upload. So in the integration, yeah, and this is why it was a BS files, because it's just a bunch of like random bytes, JPEG-like data. Okay. But it creates this fake data, creates a byte stream. So this is nice because you don't need to write an actual file to disk. It's nice for an integration test. And we post using, I guess, all of those fields as a form, like form data, to the URL that it gave us, passing files. And I guess request stop post lets you just use a files parameter to do like a multi-part upload. And then we head the object to check that the object in S3 exists as like a validation that the test worked. Yeah, and like, so what I gained from this is, aside from having it write all this code for me, I think, one, I didn't know how to write all this code from my head. I could have gone and figured out the flow of how do you create a pre-signed URL and then how do you post to it. But I think actually the usage from the client side, which I need to figure out for the purpose of integration tests and validating that my code works, that's the part that would have taken me longer to come up with this, this protocol of like how exactly to use the pre-signed URL. This is pretty useful. It's still trying to fix that issue. It'll get there eventually. But I think, and this would have cost me $4 if I didn't have that $20 a month subscription. So these add up. But basically, I think the main benefit of this is that, cool, it's got it working. Let's go try, the script works. Let me go try this now. Cool. Let's go see that file. Photo final. Final. There it is. There we go. Yeah, I think the benefit of this really is the way I feel right now is not exhausted. Like, I was able to do something that would have been fairly mentally intensive. Not like super mentally intensive, but I would have had to, think a lot, and I wouldn't really feel like going and doing another one of these right now. I'd feel like this kind of consumed my day. I still have improvements I want to make to this. I'm not ready to move on to another task. My head is still in this. Maybe I'll set it aside and go do something else, then come back and do some refactoring and fix this up. But also, I would have only had like a V1 of this in place. I wouldn't have an integration test by this point. I definitely probably wouldn't have written a unit test. And I wouldn't have written not this script. No one should ever write this script. But I wouldn't have written this script. And most likely, like the time I spent trying to learn about pre-signed URLs during all of this just would have taken up my brain power for like the afternoon, and I wouldn't have wanted to go do something else. But it's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna go do the other side of this now, which is now where we upload this to OpenAI and have it analyze the image. So I feel like the ability to move faster is not just about like something wrote code for me, but it's about which parts of that experience were taken off of my shoulders. That it's not like I don't know what happened. I do understand the code. There are parts of it that I didn't look into as deeply for sure. Like this script also, I'm going to delete. Not immediately, but I'm not going to, or I'm going to move it to some other form. Like I'm not just going to have a bunch of scripts floating around the code base for calling our different endpoints. But like I'll do something with this as a utility probably. But there's a lot of things that got done here that I wouldn't have had the mental energy to do. And then there's other things that like I just learned a lot faster by seeing the agent solve the problem and then looking at its solution than my alternative, which would have been going and reading documentation and talking to ChatGPT and seeing what it tells me to do, then writing the code to do that and doing a trial and error loop with that. That's exhausting. So yeah, that's the pitch. It did create a different S3 bucket for sure, and did a few other things that were pretty dumb. But I will say also, like, this was more focused on me trying to show off things with it. I don't think I would have actually done, if no one were watching, I wasn't recording this, I wouldn't have done everything in exactly this way, and probably wouldn't have gone as haywire because I wouldn't have asked it to do all those things. So I was trying to show off some of the capabilities. So yeah,